DC Animation gave us some of the most unforgettable villains ever put on screen. This is a straight climb through the most powerful DC animated villains. Doomsday starts this list because in DC Animation, he is pure destruction. In The Death of Superman and Reign of the Supermen, we see exactly what he's built for. He doesn't outthink Superman, he outlasts him. His bone spikes pierce Superman's supposedly invincible skin, something almost no animated villain manages to do. Even after being beaten to death, Doomsday regenerates within moments. What makes him dangerous is adaptation. Heat vision stops working. Punches that flatten Metropolis stop slowing him down. He keeps evolving. Doomsday has no special abilities beyond hitting harder and surviving longer. Against energy users, reality warpers, or tactical villains, that brute force ceiling shows fast. He's terrifying up close, but power alone can only take you so far. Doomsday proves strength can destroy a city. Brainiac proves intelligence can own the planet. Brainiac is the villain you grew up fearing. Justice League Unlimited or Superman Brainiac Attack shows us the level of coldness and control he brings with himself. Brainiac shrinks entire cities like Kandor and keeps them alive in bottles. That's dominance. He hacks global systems, turns technology against heroes, and overwhelms Superman with drone armies and energy weapons built specifically to counter him. What makes Brainiac terrifying is his mind. Every fight feels like you're already 10 steps behind. Doomsday proved that raw strength can overwhelm a hero in a straight fight. Brainiac proves that strength doesn't matter when the battlefield, the weapons, and the rules are already his. While Brainiac controls systems, Parallax controls minds. Parallax is where the list stops feeling physical and starts feeling uncomfortable. This is fear itself. If you remember Green Lantern First Flight, you remember the shift.
With these.
In DC Animation, Parallax, it breaks willpower. It corrupts Green Lanterns across entire sectors, turning the strongest emotion in the universe into a weapon. Yellow energy constructs overpower lantern rings, minds get hijacked, and even Superman isn't safe when Parallax gets close enough to take hold. Brainiac controls machine systems and logic. Parallax doesn't need technology, it turns the heroes themselves into weapons. The ease with which Parallax wins and dominates is scary. Entire teams struggle just to restrain it long enough to separate it from a host. But Parallax isn't limitless. It needs someone to wear it to reach full power, and emotions like love and pure will can push back. Without a host, it fades. Still, when Parallax is loose, heroes they will break. Fear can be resisted, death cannot. Necron is the kind of villain longtime DC Animation fans remember for how wrong everything felt when he appeared. This was death itself showing up
of mortality, even of their souls.
If you watch Green Lantern the animated series, you know the tone shift. Hope disappears fast. What puts Necron above fear-based or tech-based villains is scale and finality. Brainiac conquers worlds. Parallax only works when someone is alive to feel it. Necron ends things. He raises fallen heroes as Black Lanterns and they come back with their full powers intact. Fighting them means fighting everything you already lost. His black energy doesn't wound, but kills. One touch and you're gone. Entire sectors fall as darkness spreads, feeding him more souls and making him stronger. Compared to earlier villains, brute force barely matters here. You can't intimidate death. You can't outthink it. Even cosmic level attacks only slow him down.
scour them clean. This is my hour.
Death ends lives, but Trigon takes something worse: free will. Trigon is pure childhood trauma for anyone who grew up watching Teen Titans.
Farewell, dear daughter.
In Justice League vs. Teen Titans, Trigon corrupts members of the Justice League like it's nothing, turning the world's strongest heroes into servants. Size, strength, experience doesn't really matter.
Dude.
What makes Trigon unforgettable is control. He floods Earth with hellfire, bends dimensions to his will, and uses souls as tools. His hold over Raven is key. Once the gate opens, even gods struggle to push him back. Necron ends lives, but Trigon enslaves souls. Death stops the fight, but Trigon keeps it going by twisting everything the heroes are into tools of hell. Because Trigon isn't a villain you beat, he's the one you survive. Trigon corrupts through chaos. Darkseid dominates through order. Darkseid is the villain every other one gets measured against. When Darkseid shows up, the question isn't if the heroes lose, it's how badly they will lose.
Finally, a challenge.
Darkseid dominates the Justice League again and again. In Justice League War, he dismantles Superman's punches like they're nothing. His Omega beams bend around corners, tag speedsters, and erase gods from existence. Orion, Superman, gone.
No. I am
Compared to Trigon, Darkseid is less mystical but far more consistent. Where Trigon invades when the gate opens, Darkseid kicks the door in and makes surrender inevitable. In the Apocalypse War, he wins. Earth falls. Heroes are broken, controlled, or killed. Anti-life is a system, and Darkseid uses it to strip free will across entire worlds. He does have limits. Animated Darkseid is often an avatar, not his true form, and overconfidence opens cracks. But it always takes something extreme. Radion weapons, sacrifice, or the entire Justice League all at once. Darkseid brings order. Darkseid rules the world. Anti-Monitor erases them. Anti-Monitor is where nostalgia turns into scale shock. If Darkseid is the final boss of a world, the Anti-Monitor is the end of worlds. In DC animation, the Anti-Monitor erases universes. Antimatter waves wipe out entire Earths in seconds. His shadow demons shred realities, and every universe that falls only makes him stronger. Compared to Darkseid's rule through fear and control, this is annihilation. What really sells his place at the top is who he fights: the Spectre. Darkseid himself, entire teams of heroes and villains working together. Even then, nothing actually beats him. The only victory comes from sealing him away after massive multiversal sacrifice. The Anti-Monitor doesn't feel anger. He doesn't want power. He exists to erase everything. And on an animated scale, nothing comes close. This is the matchup every DC animation fan thinks about at least once. Darkseid versus the Anti-Monitor. Control versus annihilation. At first, Darkseid holds his own. His Omega beams hit with god-killing force, slamming into the Anti-Monitor's antimatter armor. But Anti-Monitor isn't normal. He absorbs the punishment. Antimatter waves erase entire universes in the background, making Darkseid's victories meaningless. Darkseid can rule infinite worlds. Anti-Monitor deletes them. Eventually, scale wins. Darkseid is overwhelmed, not because he's weak, but because he's finite. Anti-Monitor regenerates, grows, and consumes until nothing is left to conquer. In DC animation, Darkseid is the end of hope. Anti-Monitor is the end of existence.